Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us again on the Give and Go podcast, Doug and me. And today we have special guests from Jackson Liberty Jr., Ari Broughton. Ari, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
First let's start. We'll start talking about this season. I know Jackson Liberty's having, a little bit rough of a season this year, but uh, you have been playing phenomenal. Just talk about, the team where it's at right now and, how you feel you're playing.
The team we're having a little bit trouble scoring, and defensively just talking and communicating with each other and just trying to build connections so we can play good. For me, I think my mindset is just scoring, just playing hard every single game and just trying to bring my teammates with me.
Do you think, Chelsea getting hurt during soccer season, she was a big factor as a freshman last year. She played point guard, right? Does she play
Yeah,
some point guard? Do you, that hurt with her, missing out this season?
definitely. It's just really hard just having her on the sidelines and just her only being able to cheer with us playing AAU together. I think it would have been a crazy season if she was there.
So you two have, chemistry and, in the past, being able to play AAU with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit tougher too.
Tough loss, yeah.
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 I'll let you go, Doug. You could ask a
Oh,
question.
my first question is I got to see you play the last couple of years when you guys played Manchester a couple of times a year. And uh you got to play with Maura Carney. And I know Maura's a great kid, she's a hard worker. Um, what did she what kind of knowledge did she give you as a younger player? And what kind of knowledge did she pass on that you want to pass on to the younger kids in the program?
She basically just told me all the time just to believe in myself. Like confidence was the one thing that I always struggled with. And just having her bring me up every single time, that was just something like that carried me through each season. And that's what I tell everyone else. Like, not many of them have been playing basketball most of their life. So, like, confidence is just big.
um, spinning off that, Jackson Liberty, like a lot of the public schools, you play lacrosse as well, multi-sport athletes. Um, do you think it's harder that, compared to the team, because you're in the division with Manasquan and St. Rose, where those kids they don't play multiple sports, they just play basketball. Do you think that makes it a bigger challenge, going up against those teams?
Yeah, definitely. Going into Manasquan game when their whole starting lineup is going like D1. Yeah, it's insane.
Now you moved over. You played with JT this past summer, AAU, and all of his players. That you're having a great season. Julia had a great. Dreyhos is having a great season. What has JT brought out of you? That it's making you succeed this season.
Again, just confidence. He always just told us he would always be like, shoot the ball, take them. You can do anything you want. Just got to be strong, get every rebound, and just believe in yourself.
Do you bust his chops since you guys took them out of the state playoffs last year? Do you get to
I
bust them on
didn't
that?
as much. I didn't. I tried to keep that out of the conversation.
Probably smart. It'd probably make you start running. I remember, talking, wasn't that the first playoff wins for Liberty?
Mhm.
When
Yeah.
you beat Middletown North, and then I was sitting with him during the Middletown North. He was there scouting, and I said to him, Jackson Liberty is not the matchup you want, because they were the one. Was RBR the one seed? That
RBI was the one seed. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of you were playing on, Mora was playing a high level. You were playing on a high level. So how did it feel, going back 2 seasons, how did it feel, kind of putting Liberty on the map, winning their first state game against North and then, upsetting RBR, in the next round?
It was the feeling was just so unreal because when I was a freshman, I was like so nervous, and just being able to help the team go that far, it was just insane.
Now you played a lot of the games I was at when I saw you play as a freshman. You never came out. Like you were on, and your motor goes 110%, from opening whistle to end whistle. Um, where did you get that kind of, determination where you're one of the few, like you go nonstop for the full 32 minutes. Where do you get that work ethic?
Honestly, it's from my parents. My dad, he always used to get on me about going outside and just running. He would actually run with me sometimes, and then just my coaches pushing me.
Yes, I know some of your opposing coaches in high school, they don't like going up against you because, you're tough to handle. You just nonstop. You're attacking the rebounds. I think, your freshman year, what did she have? Double double, or close to a double double your freshman year. How many freshmen could say, that? And you played some critical minutes. So, good job on that.
Thank you.
Uh, you want to do some rapid fire right now?
All right,
Sure.
one more question.
Go
One more
ahead.
question about so last week we had Julia Corsentino on from Rumson Fairhaven, and we talked about the winning tradition there and how she wants to carry it on and pass it on to the younger kids. Well, Liberty is kind of a new school. There's not much of a basketball tradition. So what kind of tradition do you hope to establish before you leave Liberty?
Um, Probably just building a connection with the team and just getting together most of the time, like whether it's listening to music in the locker rooms or just going out to dinner or hanging out and just building a connection with everyone.
How long's Coach been there? What, 3 years?
This is her third year being
Yeah.
head coach.
So your freshman year was her first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's you know, all the kids seem to go to Memorial that play play sports. Not even I'm not just saying basketball. I'm just saying sports in general. What kind of I mean, you're not scheduled to play Memorial, right?
No, we don't play
Oh,
them.
that's something. Have you played Memorial since you've been there?
No,
Not.
we have.
All right, and even throughout last year because COVID, the schedule was almost. You would think cross count, because Brick always plays Brick Memorial, even though they're in different divisions.
Mhm.
You would think that it'd be fun for the town to try to build up that rivalry.
The boys play Memorial tomorrow, but the girls don't.
Okay, how are the boys?
The boys are pretty good.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
have a center 6'4", 6'5", something like that. He's really good.
that helps. Um, Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Doug, you got it. You got anything there?
Uh, no, I'm ready to go rapid fire if you're ready to.
You could start it off. So we're both good. He's going to ask a question. You answer, then I'll ask, and we go back and forth for a little bit.
Okay, so my first question is always the same one. You have your headphones in pregame. What's your favorite pump up song?
Um, Probably Poison by Rod Wave.
Do you know who that is?
No,
Neither do
I'm
I.
just shaking my head like, yep, good one.
Neither do I. How about night before the game? What's like a pregame meal or something?
Um, Probably chicken or pasta.
Any particular type of chicken? Barbecue.
Probably lemon pepper is my favorite.
Okay, healthy too.
Who's your favorite athlete?
Um, I really liked Candace Parker growing up. That
Oh,
was
good
the person I watched
choice.
all the
She's one of
time.
my favorites too.
That Tennessee connection.
That's right.
Um, what's your favorite school subject?
Mm, Probably math.
Math. That
Yeah.
was mine too in high school, and then in college I hated math.
No way. Who's your favorite singer, favorite artist, favorite band?
Mm, Probably Rod Wave again. I listen to
I'm,
Rod
I'm,
Wave all the
I'm
time.
gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Favorite TV show?
Grey's Anatomy.
I get
Everybody
the
says
amount of
Grey's
kids.
Anatomy
Everyone's and
and
it's funny because
Friends.
it's been around so long too. Like it was out before like most of these kids were born,
I'm
right?
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you something. I've never seen one episode of that show.
I saw the first 10 seasons, and then they just killed too many of the main characters off. So
Oh my
thought I
gosh.
was watching something like The Sopranos the way they were dying.
What do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I have no clue. I
No
have
idea.
no idea. No.
Do you know what you want to study in college?
I was thinking about psychology
Okay.
or business. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Would you want to like stick with basketball too, like training and coaching after college?
I'm open to it, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's tough. Tough being a coach these days.
Especially
These
these
days.
days.
My
Don't be a
coaches
ref.
always, my coaches always joke around with me that I'm gonna come back after college and coach with them.
Okay.
It's
So,
good.
Yeah.
If you could spend a day with one person, who would it be?
um, probably LeBron James.
Okay.
All right. So
Boo.
I know next question.
What?
LeBron or Michael?
Well, I can't answer you. Oh man, I can't believe that. I hate LeBron, Michael all the way. Um, do you watch a lot of college basketball?
I watch a little bit, but not as
Um,
much as the NBA and WNBA.
it's probably tough. It's tough for me to watch college basketball, and I'm not at practice. 4 days a week and playing games 2 to 3 other days a week. So, do you have a favorite college basketball team? It could be men's or girls.
Um, UCLA for men's and South Carolina for women's.
Okay. Why UCLA for men's?
I've just always loved UCLA. That was just my top school that I loved.
That's his anti Tennessee head shake right there.
Big game Saturday. Big game Saturday.
Um, you got any more, Doug?
Um, no, you?
Favorite movie?
I know this is a Christmas movie, but Elf. That's
Okay.
gotta be the movie.
Um, one more I have is I can't believe I just drew a blank. Never mind. I literally just had it in my head. I can't believe it.
It's getting
Um,
old.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Um, so how many kids are graduate? Are you? How many seniors you have on your team right now?
We actually don't have any seniors this year.
That's good.
So I mean, playing, you play a very tough schedule with the division. Even Ocean Township Wall, or much improved from previous seasons. Do you think that will help your team? Not having any seniors on the team, everyone coming back. Chelsea coming back from injury, hopefully next season. Give another scoring option. Because right now I'm assuming teams focus on you on the
Yeah.
on the defensive end. Having just somebody like Chelsea, where she could get to the hoop. Um, do you think the outlook looks better for next season?
Yeah, I definitely think we'll be more prepared next year and people will know what to expect. So I think it's gonna help us a lot.
One more question on the basketball front. How does I know 0 wins, but how does Coach Haron keep the team motivated? Because I know it can get frustrating as a player, you're losing and stuff. How does she try to keep your team motivated?
She just says just to not play scared. Like we have nothing to lose at this point. So just go out there and do your best. And if you're doing your best, that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's good, because even coaches that coach, the ranked teams, one thing they hate is when the team just gives up and packs and plays afraid, like you said. Me and Doug, we're probably going to be commenting on that about the coach's choice about teams playing afraid and stuff.
I have
So.
one more question.
Mhm.
In personally, how do you keep yourself mentally ready every game, knowing you're going to be the focus of double and triple teams, and then you still produce at such a high level? So how do you keep yourself motivated, and how do you keep yourself mentally focused?
Um, Usually I usually write notes to myself in my phone and then I just read that. I set goals for myself before every game. I usually have conversations with my coaches before and I just try my best and then that's it.
Um, Lost my question again. God damn it. I'm losing it. You know why? Because she starts giving a good answer, and then I completely forget. Um. Oh, that was what it. Do you remember who your first coach was?
Um, my first coach was Coach Novak in elementary school.
Okay.
I mean, middle school, sorry.
How old were you when you started playing basketball?
I started in seventh grade.
Okay.
I
Oh,
was
wow.
12, I believe.
So a little bit of a late starter compared to the most kids. Did you play any other sports?
No, I didn't. I ran track a little bit, but it
Okay.
wasn't like anything crazy.
Are you playing lacrosse this season?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, what made what attracted you to basketball? That be your passion sport.
Both my brothers play basketball, and my dad played basketball a little bit. So I was like, maybe I could be better than at them. So we're a
How,
very competitive family. So
how old are your brothers?
my brothers, they're both in their 30s.
Okay. So, um, did they let you win when you play outside or no?
They never let me win.
Good.
That's good.
Builds
Um,
character.
yeah, yeah, it makes you tough. That's probably why you're so tough on the court. Uh, Doug, you have any other questions?
No,
My last question will be, what advice would you give, your younger self or, a young kid that, might be looking up to you that comes to watch you play?
Um, Probably to just never give up on anything. I think that if you think that you can't do it, you're not going to do it. So I think that just having the mindset of
Positive mindset.
being able to do it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. So,
yeah.
all right, Aria, thank you for taking time out today. And, I wish the team luck the rest of the season. I'm
Well,
a big fan of yours, and, big fan of Coach Haron. So, you know, I know rough year, but the team will turn around for next
keep
season.
keep working hard, keep your head up because things will get better. I see you're going to lead it. So, the younger kids are lucky to have you around. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Do you know how many points you have this season? I'm going to pull that up actually.
Somewhere around 300, I believe.
Okay. Um, I always liked your rebounding numbers anyway. I know a lot of coaches like that too. So I just want to pull up the stats here. How many the team has first? You had 340, and you lead the team in steals, 41. Is that JT coaching there? The steals, the defense.
Maybe a little bit.
So yeah, but the next Jackie Capasso, she has 137, and that's pretty much it. So all right, well, Ari, I appreciate you taking time out, and I wish you luck the rest of the season. Stay healthy, and good luck in the lacrosse season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Tell Coach Sauer I said hello. So
Well,
all right, thank you, Ari.
thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Ari from Jackson Liberty.
A very
Must be a rough.
positive, very, very positive kid for all that's not going right for the team this year.
Yeah,
So,
that has to be, losing one of your key players, with, everyone knew where you were losing with Moore graduating, but um, Chelsea had a really good freshman season,
it's
and
tough. It's tough to be the focus of every team's
yeah,
defense, and she still produces at a pretty good rate. So good for her.
yeah. All right, let's start the coach's choice. We had a busy week this week. We caught quite a few games.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Uh,
Not much sleep. So
no, zero sleep. Don't tell my job that.
yeah.
First game, Homedale and Morris Catholic.
Uh,
I'll let you lead it off. I know you
uh,
have your thoughts.
listen, we picked there's 8 games, right? There's 8 games this weekend.
Hmm.
This is the only game we lost. We
Yeah.
picked Homedale,
Hmm.
but I really didn't know how good the Paldo twins are. I mean, they
Wow.
are fantastic.
Wow.
Their team is very good, but they are not any taller than 5'3", 5'4". And I mean, the one number three, I don't know if it's Maya or Mia, but
Yeah.
I mean, she ended up with 36 points, and she had to have about 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds.
Yep.
I mean, she
And she
five
had a
foot
handful of
three, five
assists.
four, yeah, and she's in there banging with the big girls and
Yeah.
getting rebounds over them. So I was really impressed with those two.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with their team. They're well coached.
Very well coached.
And I think it may have been a closer game, but the first quarter and a half, Holmdel came out and they did not look ready to play.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if it was nerves being the first game of the day. They just, I mean, they did not play like I've seen them play to two or three other times this year.
They
I
passed
think,
on some shots that they shouldn't have been passing
Pat,
on.
yeah, I mean it was hard to watch because they were getting looks and not taking the shot, overpassing, leading the turnovers. And I mean, you said Baldo had about 5 or 6 steals, and she went in for some uncontested layups on those steals. So I think that probably could have been a closer game. I'm very impressed with Morris Catholic, but I do think that Holmdel left some points on the court in the first half.
Yeah. I talked to, Matt yesterday, and I told him, that's a good game to reference come states, and I think he would agree with us. They looked a little afraid. They were hesitant in the first half. I mean, if it wasn't, Alexandra was, she was probably the only one being really aggressive, trying to get some points in the first half. And then come the fourth quarter, unfortunately, the game was already out of reach. But they looked like a totally different team in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Abby attacking the rim, Catherine attacking the rim. Um, like we were, if we saw that the whole game, what would have the outcome would have been? Not saying they would
Yeah.
have won, but it might have been, wouldn't have been such a blowout.
Another thing that Martini was in foul trouble.
Yes, yes, she was out.
She had to sit out most of the third quarter, I
Yes, and
believe.
the beginning of the fourth.
So that didn't help either.
Yeah,
But yeah, you were talking about Lukopoulos. I mean, every game we see her play, she gets better and better, and
yeah,
the level of competition gets better, and she just plays better. So that's the kind of kid you want.
yeah,
You want kids like that are going to play better against higher competition.
yeah. There was a lot of college coaches there, and they definitely should be calling after watching her you know play on Sunday. The next game, RFH versus St. Thomas Aquinas.
That was a good game. I like that game. It was very physical. I think
Yes, they let them play.
I mean, she had to be battered and bruised after that game.
I think she got
They were
clotheslined at one point and landed on the floor.
probably finger in the eye. I mean, everything. I mean, she is probably bloody arms, but you could tell that she was the focus of their defense, and they were going to do whatever they could to take her out of the game. But yeah, Rumson that was an impressive game. That was a good win. St. Thomas Aquinas is a good team. I believe they're ranked in the top 20. But it's just Rumson's playing better. Grace Colucci, 5 more threes. I think she had 5 the game after that or before that. She's just been shooting the ball really well. Charlie Rosen, I know we've seen her play in the past, but she led that team.
Her ball
like
handling
perfectly
was
orchestrating that offense.
Her ball handling was so impressive.
Yep. And she got to the rim a couple times, and she's not usually the kind of player that takes it to the rim all that much. She was going in traffic and finishing, but it was a good win. I think Coach Cal would say that that's probably one of their most impressive wins of the season, the way they played the complete game.
Yes, yes, and their surge just keeps continuing. Probably minus St. John Vianney, probably one of the teams you hope you don't get matched up against
Yeah,
in the quarterfinals.
no doubt. That's not the team you want to play.
No, no, and like it was a complete team effort that game. And I think Grace getting off to such a hot start in the first quarter, allowed it. Julia didn't have to focus on her jump shot. She was the one that took it to the rim, and Cahill had a few threes. Who's been she's been playing very good during this Rumson run. And Charlie, orchestrating everything. She really impressed me, especially just her ball handling. I think at one point she was on a knee and she kept a dribble and stuff. Which they're going to be dangerous, and watch out. Manasquan and Central Jersey Group 2. You know,
Yeah.
that's
And I'm looking forward to their game against Jackson Memorial tomorrow
tomorrow.
because it'll
Yeah.
be a good matchup because Jackson's big
They're
and
complete
physical.
opposite teams.
Yes, yep,
Yes.
big and
Yeah.
physical, and they can shoot from the outside, but it's not
Yeah.
their main focus of their offense. And Rumson just likes to bomb away, and so it'll be interesting to see that matchup. It'd be a good. I know they played the last couple of years, and I think Jackson's got the best of them the last couple of years, but it'll be a good test for both teams going into the short conference tournament.
Yeah, and this game is the day before the seeding meeting, where the past games were after the short during the short conference
Means
between
something.
states. Yes, yeah. So it'll be fun. You're going to go to that game?
I am going to that game tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Next game, Manasquan versus my favorite team, Paul the Sixth. I'm going to get a Paul the Sixth hat and wear it everywhere I go. They seem to be big fans of me as well. They love
big
me.
Fans of Nick.
Big
we lose
fans.
viewers. We lose viewers because you can't keep your mouth shut.
A very competitive game. You know,
Yeah.
Manasquan came out. They had Mary covering Hannah, which she did a great job. I thought Hannah might have been a little
Excellent
too fast,
job.
but the style. Paul Six was slowing it down a little, and it kind of Mary just did how many points did Hannah have in the first half? Because I know second half is when she really started scoring.
I think she might have had 7 at halftime.
Okay.
7,
So
8 maybe. But yeah, Mary did a great job on her. I was a little worried about that matchup, not because Mary can't play defense, but Hannah's quick. And
yes, that was the only thing I was worried about, speed.
But yeah, she played her so well. I mean, I think her height gave Hannah a little trouble. And but I mean, talk about defense. I think you can't talk about that game in the defense without talking about Georgia because she was. I mean, and like I tell most kids, if your offense isn't working, do something else. And we know she doesn't touch the ball an awful lot. She makes the most of her touches on offense, but man, she has 6 block shots. At one point she blocked the shot, ran the court, got the ball.
Got fouled.
Somebody missed a basket.
She got the
offensive rebound, put it back, and got fouled. I mean, that's what you love to see. Kids hustle like that. And that team is so talented, but they all know they have to do a little extra. And they all do it. It's you check the box score and it's a different leading scorer most of the nights. And but if they can play defense like that, if Mary can shut people down, Georgia can just be an enforcer inside.
Yeah.
We already know Dorothy plays great defense, and Brooke. It looks like she's her knees getting a little better. She's moving a little better.
She had a big steal for a layup that put them up 4 when it was still a very tight game. So it's good to see.
Hope, offensively in the third quarter, I think she had about 8 straight points. So you're going to get the offense, but if they can play defense like that, I mean, like, you're not going to beat St. John Vianney, but you could get RBC back from that loss in the Christmas tournament.
Yeah. The only thing, I think, they got to find more minutes for Katie Collins. They were struggling a little bit offensively in the first half, and, she would come in, they would get something going, she would come right back out. She didn't play so much. And it seems like a lot of games where things aren't going right, Lisa gets her in there and things start to change.
Her and Orlando.
Yes, and I know, it's tough. You got the 4 seniors that have gotten you there over the last, 3 years. But come postseason, and Katie, with her length, and she can knock down the 3. She could, stretch, their big out to, make her be covered out there, which would open it up for, Brooke, Mary, and Georgia to, and hope to drive to the hoop or, set something up for Dorothy underneath. So she's just such a wild card. What she could bring when she's on the court, and she's got the long wingspan too on defense.
Especially since most teams are not very deep. When you can bring people like Katie and Rylan off the bench, and they can put up 10, 12 points and a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. I mean, that's just such a luxury that team has that most teams don't.
Good. It was a good hard-fought win from Manasquan. A type of game that you're going to see pay dividends come postseason.
I I'm friends with a parent on Paul VI. I went to high school with him, Sarah McShay's father, and he was surprised that they lost that game. He said that they went in that game so that they thought they were going to win that game, and I said, hey, I mean, maybe you guys haven't seen Manasquan play this year, but that's a tough team. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if any team that goes in play Manasquan is surprised that they lose.
Yeah.
Paul VI was surprised they lost, and maybe that goes to their overconfidence a little bit. But you know, and I know people. I've read it on Twitter. Manasquan got the shore whistle, but
Yeah.
I've seen so many times that teams don't get the shore whistle at the shore. So
Yeah.
say what you want. They won. It was a good game. It's a big win for them, and
Yeah.
it's only going to help them come shore conference and states.
Yeah. And Hannah, very impressive second half. She's such a,
Yeah.
she's one of the best in the state. Take
There are
nothing
two
away
of
from her.
them, her and Sarah McShay, very good 1-2
Yeah.
combo. But
And Sarah had
other
a
than
very
that,
big fourth quarter.
yeah, fourth quarter, she had like 10 in the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next game, RBC versus Rutgers Prep. Definitely, you know, shocked me, the outcome. And I, talking to some parents before the game, but they probably, the sense was they didn't think it would be as close as it was, but they took them to the limit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
congratulations, Allie, on her 1,000 point.
Yes, congratulations. And and back to Rumson, congratulations to Coach Cal, got his 100th win last night. Before we
Yes.
forget that. But yeah, the RBC, I mean, we know they have talent.
Mm-hmm.
We know, I don't think it's any shock that their most talented player was out.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not seen Rutgers Prep play this year. Manchester played them last year, and in the summer league, and I just remember how good they were. So I didn't really think it was going to be that close of a game, but RBC hung in there. RBC was
Mm-hmm.
tough. They got the ball inside early to Allie, and she scored at will early. Liggio had a couple steals and was playing great.
And she
Tessa
knocked a
Carmen
couple
came off the
threes.
bench and had about 7 right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave, I think they left everything out on the court against that team. And that's, you don't like to say losses are good because nobody likes to lose, but if you can learn something from the loss, that's something they can take a lot out of that game. And I think Rutgers Prep could probably take a lot out of playing them down a man and knowing how tough they were.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they won't come in next time and say, hey, their best players out, we're going to win this game. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they were shocked. I think I don't think anybody in the gym really thought it was going to be that close, but kudos to RBC.
Yeah. And Tessa and Liggio, they don't play like freshmen. Their body language doesn't say freshman at all. That's, to me, that's big. Like you said, Tessa come 7 points off right away off the bench, and Liggio just might be one of the best 3-point shooters in the shore. As especially as a freshman, they just play with a confidence level out there, and it's great to see because they don't have the deer in the headlights that some freshmen might have in the big spots and stuff.
Right, in the big games. They held Rutgers Prep to 2 points on 2 foul shots in the fourth quarter. The only thing I think that maybe Coach Montana would want back or might have done differently is knowing the game was so close, they only had 2 fouls
earlier
late in the fourth quarter. And I think they probably should have fouled earlier to get close to the 1-and-1, knowing that, it's going to come down to a possession or two. They could have lengthened that game a little bit, I think. I don't know if it would have swung the game the other way, but I think if they lengthened that game a little bit, put them at the foul line a couple more times, gave themselves a couple more offensive possessions because Rutgers Prep took the air out of the ball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So if they gave themselves a couple more possessions, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But again, that's the way the game went. But again, great game by them.
Yes. Next game, the game that everyone was packed into that arena like sardines. SJV Saddle River. to the person who thought Saddle River was going to win by 20. I don't know what they were drinking in the morning.
You think that person would admit it?
um, St. John Vianney goes down to Florida and beats three top 15 teams in the country all by 20. I don't. It's the first time I saw St. John Vianney live this season, and wow, they did not
Yeah.
disappoint. And to me, I thought Dawn was being nice. Every time the league got into the 20s, either Maddie came out or Zoe came out.
Right.
And it kind of slowed down the run a little bit. Then they would get it down to 17, and then they go right back in, and boom, it's back to 20, 25. And I know you made this comment on Twitter. Your takeaways. And Zoe's passing, like
Oh,
wow. Not haven't really. I only saw them play once when she was a freshman,
mm,
and that was against Rutgers Prep. She played, but they had a couple seniors that were really good, so didn't see that much of her. But wow, her vision, and congratulations on her getting 1,000
yeah,
points
another 1,000 point score.
this past week. But yeah, that team and Dawn, we joked that Dawn was showing them that tweet, or about
Yeah,
that before the game. But that team is, I don't even think Dawn needs to do that.
they don't need the extra motivation.
No.
But yeah, you talk about Zoe's court vision. I mean, she made some passes I didn't see the girl running down the court, and the ball was
Right
on her
there.
hand in a position to score,
Yeah.
and it's nice to watch. It's impressive. But another thing, I don't think Megan Cahalan gets a lot of credit
No.
for her. She runs the floor better than any big I've
Mhm.
seen in a long time. I mean, she plays defense. She gets out. Zoe finds her. I mean, how many times? 3 or 4 times. She's down at the other end of the court before anybody on
Yeah.
Saddle River Day was down there, and Zoe found her. So she runs the court better than any big I've seen in a long time.
Mhm.
And then again, Madison St. Rose so smooth.
28
Um,
points and didn't even seem it.
no, and O'Connor. I mean, the team's just stacked. They're
Yeah.
loaded. She brings 3 or 4 people off the bench. They don't really lose much,
Yeah.
and you know, it's impressive to watch. They're playing Rutgers Prep tomorrow. I really, honestly, don't think that's going to be much of a game from what I saw
On Sunday.
Saturday
Yeah.
or Sunday. Yeah, but again, I said in the beginning of the season, if there's any team that's going to beat them, it's going to be a team that's not from New Jersey. And they're getting their matchup with number one
Sidwell.
in a couple of weeks. Sidwell Friends. They're actually made that game happen. They're playing down at Ursuline Academy in Wilmington, Delaware. What a game that's going to be. I'm sure there's not going to be an empty seat in that gym.
This is a question I wish I could ask Dawn. If you had the option, if you had to withdraw from the Shore Conference tournament to play Sidwell, do you do that?
Boy, that's a tough one. I would think she would say yes. I mean, listen, short conference tournament. It's prestigious. I mean, it's the best conference in New Jersey. So winning, and everybody said winning the short conference tournament is harder than winning your state group.
Yeah.
The year that Manchester won it, we went through St. Rose and St. John Vianney in the final, and then we didn't have a game in Group 2 that was closer than 20 points. So it is definitely much harder to win the short conference than win the states. But if you got the chance to play the number one team in the country and you're number 3 or 4, knowing you win the game, you're probably going to be number 1. I take the chance.
Well, I'm glad they made it work out, because I know they were trying hard, and both teams' schedules were pretty full, especially with the postseason coming around the corner. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about that game when the Friday before. I think it's the 20th, right? So next Friday, and might be something we could also bring up with Brian Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We both hit a couple games this week. First, I'll just bring up. I was at Brick Pinelands on Monday. Was lucky enough. I thought Bridget Dudas was 45 away. I walked into the gym, and the Brick Township coach tells me she only needs 27. And so I was excited with the possibility of her doing that, and she nailed, 27 right on the dot. Nice little jumper from the corner to get it.
Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah.
She's a very good scorer. She could score. Especially getting to the hoop, which is tough. Not the best basketball in Pineland, so it's one of
No,
those you
it's
could.
kind of like we just spoke with Ari about,
Yeah,
no, going into the game, no, you're going to be the focus of their defense.
yeah,
To still produce numbers like she does is very impressive.
yeah. And trust me, Brick knew she only needed 27 points, so they were focused. They would have been fine with her getting 25.
Yeah.
But uh, congratulations. Great kid. I interviewed her last summer. Multi-sport athlete.
Mhm.
Great family. Very humble family.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be happier. One of my favorite athletes in the Shore. Brick ended up winning a very competitive game. They were up 12 at one point, and then Bridget helped lead them come back. They ended up winning by 3. The refereeing was totally off the charts. They called it out of bounds, and the girl was probably 18 inches away from out of bounds, and she had
That's
the
pretty
ball.
close.
She had the ball in her
Close
hand,
enough.
so um, that gave the ball to Pinelands with like 8 seconds to go, chance to tie it, but they couldn't get the ball into Bridget's hand to get a shot off. So Brick won. Their freshman Riley, another good game, 20
Mhm.
points. Definitely making a case for the all freshman team. It's been pretty consistent over there. So, congrats for her, keeping the season rolling along. And,
Mhm.
I think Kevin's one of the best coaches in the Shore. Especially, last few years, he's basically been doing it with the soccer team. And, his team's very competitive. You hear me? Did I lose
Hold
you?
on.
Oh, I hear
I
you. All
can't
right.
hear you.
I hear you. So,
Hold on.
uh-uh.
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Hold on. All right. I got to get this back up.
All right.
Can't hear.
All right, guys. Sorry
Sorry
about
about
that.
that.
We,
Technical
we got,
difficulty with my
yeah,
headphones.
we got Doug all situated there. Yeah, so Dudas had a really good game, and the Brick head coach, Kevin's doing a good job over there trying to build a program through
Right.
uh, through the local AAU team over there. Um, Tom's River East, Lacey, we were both there. I'll let you could
Game.
lead that conversation.
That was a good game. Very, very competitive game. Two competitive teams. I thought it was close most of the game.
Hmm.
I think Tom's Reese got it up to 13-point lead at one point. Lacey came right back. Um, they're impressed. I like watching that team play. They're very tough, scrappy. Um, they can shoot, but they get inside and they're undersized. They get inside and play very well. Um, I think the third quarter, Mahan had 3 threes in a row
Yeah,
to kind of bring them back. Um, and Tom's Reese is impressive as well. We know Lizzie Gillen's a good ball player.
hmm,
Um, but the shoe pack
yeah,
uh, had a couple big baskets. She had a lot of points. I think coach was ready to kill her at one point. They were up 4. She took a 3, and I think was ready to run on the court. Um, but I mean, that was a very competitive game.
yeah. I think
And
even
again,
Lizzie yelled, "Don't shoot!"
yeah, somebody yelled, "No, no, no!" It's like when Charles Oakley used to shoot. No, no, no. But again, we talk about the referees.
Oh,
At, just an example, in the third quarter, um, it was a close game, and Tom Reese got the ball under Lacey's basket with 0.1 second left. I
hmm,
said, well, 0.1 seconds doesn't matter. You need zero point 0.3 to catch and shoot. So really, it has to be an alley oop to the rim. Okay, we're gonna get an alley oop. Somebody gonna cut off a back screen and dunk it off a tip. So I said, all right, well, they're just gonna get it in. It's not gonna matter. Tom Reese ran an inbound play, got the girl under the basket. She catches it, goes up,
shoots.
puts it off the backboard. The horn had already sounded, and the refs don't make a signal. They don't say good basket, no basket. They just walk to half court. Both coaches are looking at her like,
And
is it a
the score
basket?
guy was
Is
like,
it
"What's going?"
is it a basket? Is it not a basket? What's
Yeah,
going on? And then they talk to each other and, oh yeah, that's a good basket.
yeah.
0.1 second. The girl caught the ball 2 feet on the ground, went up. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like the ref bash, but I mean that should have just been a no-brainer. That's not a basket.
Yeah.
And but hey, it was a good game and East won.
Yeah. Yeah, big
And
win
then
for them.
Lacey came back last night and almost beat Manchester. So
They played Manchester tough twice.
yeah. I mean, listen, first round of the short conference tournament, playing either one of those teams is going to be, it's no easy task.
No,
Um,
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them get a win in the
Yeah.
first round. So
Yeah, and Tom's River East, they're very well coached. Kevin does a good job over there. And not, I don't know, what's he have? Maybe one actual basketball player and four multi-sport athletes.
yeah,
Jan is probably the basketball player, because Lizzie could do whatever Lizzie wants to do probably in sports,
yeah.
and Kellen, soccer player.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was a very fun game. Glad we got over there, and big win for Tom's River
Yeah,
East.
yep,
The last game yesterday we went to go see Point Borough Monmouth Regional play. Point Borough needed to win, and they got to win today to get into the short conference tournament. Monmouth was at 500. Fortunately, they dropped one game behind 500. Sorry, I had the hiccups. Hopefully, they could get somebody tomorrow. I don't know.
yeah. I think that I talked to somebody that said they were struggling to find a game. So hopefully they can.
Yeah. But it was Point Borough didn't look bad. They're two bigs, very good passers.
Oh, they ran a high low every time. Um, and the one girl I can't
Hen, Hen.
nope, the other
Oh,
one.
the one with the 14 rebounds.
20, yeah.
Munyon.
Yes, Munyon.
Hmm.
Man, what impressive hitting the boards, 14 rebounds, probably about 4 assists,
Yeah.
dumping the ball down the hand. They
Yeah.
move the ball very well,
Yeah.
Point Borough. Dave does a good job
Yeah.
coaching them up because, again, like you said, a couple multi-sport players on that team. But I was impressed. I was really impressed, and I hope they win today because I like the way that they run their program. Good kids, and I'd like to see them in the short conference tournament.
Yeah, the big thing too, Jen Farrer, their main scorer didn't score much in the first half, but passed the
Didn't
ball really
score in the first
well.
half.
And then in the second half, when she needed to get to the hoop and put it in, she did.
Yep.
And she, first half she never really forced anything, that wasn't there for her. She got it to the open person, and
She didn't score in the first half, but she had 4 rebounds and 4 assists. So
yes,
she was distributing ball very well.
yeah, and Monmouth Regional, a little sloppy, especially with the guard play, but
Yeah.
what is it, Sydney Poe and Ava? Those are
Yes.
two really
Ava,
tall
2 bigs.
girls.
Yeah. Impressive. They were good. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Ava's still battling injury, but
yeah.
it disappointed that with Sydney and Ava being seniors, Maya, who was the leading scorer last year, as a freshman, who I haven't seen her play, but I'm told a very good ball player. Where the team could have been, because they probably could have used, I'm going to guess that she probably doesn't, wouldn't be as sloppy, guard play, turning the ball over, and rushing some bad shots.
Right.
If she was on the court, probably a little more, controlled, and so a little disappointing, that unfortunately,
I didn't get to see them at full strength.
yeah, those ACL injuries, but yeah, they're tough defensively, I gotta say.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Monmouth Regional. So that's that. Yeah, those are all the we saw a lot of basketball this week, which is good because I think I only saw one game over 2 weeks before that.
A lot of competitive games too, which is
Yeah, which is good because WOBM we really didn't see that many competitive
right.
games. So, What do we want to do our short conference? I guess we'll do player of the week, and then when we're doing the top 10, we could do our what we think the seeding will look like for
Sure.
the top
Yeah,
10.
that sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this up. We only had two differences this week.
Oh, that's more than the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Share screen. All right. There we go. Here we go. All right. All right. Here are the division player of the week. I'll let you start it off. A South and B Central are the only difference.
Okay. All right. So A North, we both had Danny Schlesinger from Marlboro. It's good to see her coming back. We saw her play a couple of times early in the season, and she just didn't seem like herself. Wasn't shooting the ball very well. So it took her and the team some
Yeah, the
time
whole
to
team.
get, and now they're firing on all cylinders. Her week 25 against Howell, 19 against Notre Dame, 18 against Long Branch, and 12 against Friel Township. So
And that
pretty
Notre
impressive.
Dame, I saw Notre Dame. They're a tough defensive team, so that's a big. And they only won by 2, I think, that game, right? I think so.
It was close, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big.
Well, most of their games are pretty close. They don't
No, they
they
don't.
don't blow people out. So they do enough to win, but they're doing enough to win what 6 or 7 out of 8 and
Yeah.
lately. So that's another team. We talk about RFH. I wouldn't want to play Marlboro short conference one.
No, because they found it. They figured it out.
They did. A Central, we both had Grace Colucci from
Hmm.
Rumson Fairhaven. We talked about her shooting 13, 14 threes this week. Pretty impressive. She had 12.7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals against Middletown South. And that was a big win for them.
Yes.
20 points and 3 rebounds against St. Thomas Aquinas. 18 and 4 against Trinity, 2 against Shore, but that was a pretty low scoring game last night. But she had a really good week and taking a little pressure off Corsentino with her shooting. So
Yeah.
A South, I had Lizzie Gillen. They had 5 games this week. They played
Yeah, they
a
did.
lot of basketball this week. 13 and 12 against Central, 18 and 11 against Middle Township, which was a good game
Yeah,
for
Middle's
them.
not bad.
Middle, very well coached team.
Yeah.
23 and 15 against Brick Memorial, 15 and 9 against Lacey, and then 9 against Toms River North last night.
I went with Central Regional. Oh, sorry, Kyla Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski. She had 18 and 9 versus Toms River East. And she had 13 and 18 with 10 blocks against Brick
Wow.
Memorial.
Triple
So, getting across all the stat line for Central Regional. So that was the only difference. And they played yesterday versus Middletown North, but stats were not uploaded as of today.
I know they lost, and
Yes.
I think it was a pretty low-scoring game. But yeah, I didn't see stats for that one
Yeah.
either. B North, we both went with Madison St. Rose. Could have went with the whole team if we really wanted to.
Fourth time this fourth week
Yeah.
she's been B North.
23, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals against Life Center.
Mm-hmm.
28, 3, 1 and 3 against Saddle River. 12, 2, 2 and 6 against Red Bank Regional. So big week.
I got one thing on that Saddle River. Paulina Paris, very good player, but she didn't cover Madison or Zoe. Growing up, if you were the best player on another team, you always covered the best player on another team.
I would want to cover the best
exactly.
player on the other team.
So I thought, I don't know if she started off on one of them, but by the second quarter, when I noticed it,
right,
she was covering number 21 on SJV. I forgot who it is. 21.
Is that Ashley?
Yeah, no, Ashley was out. She had hang on. This is gonna bother me. Let me get it up. Where are you? Let's see what she was covering.
Is it Soulful Kanich?
No, Janie Bachman.
Oh, Jane Bachman, right.
She was covering Bachman.
Right.
So to me that was just weird. They got to do what the coaches doing whatever they need to do to win the game. Just all this hype. People saying she's better than Madison. I would want to,
I'll
if
see it.
I want to prove I'm better, I would have want to been on covering her. And this
I
is,
want to see.
I'm not trying to bad,
No,
she was a fun player to watch. Just something I
very
noticed.
talented, very talented.
Yeah.
But I mean, I find it hard for anybody to say there's a better player in the state right now than Madison St. Rose. So
hmm No, the closest one's probably her teammate,
Zoe,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, she's probably the closest one.
Listen, you
Yeah.
could honestly say three of the best players in the state
Yeah.
right now are in the short, three of the top five.
hmm Yeah.
Add Justine into that, she's been
Yeah.
hurt, but
Yeah.
I could go down the list. You could
Yeah.
the short conference
Absolutely.
is the best conference in the state. There's no doubt about it. I think they're one of the top conferences in the country.
Yeah.
Probably the Catholic League down in DC, people would say might be a little bit better.
hmm
But find me another league in the country that's as talented as the short conference.
Yeah.
B Central, we both went with Shelby Barksdale from
No,
Modern Day.
B Central.
Oh
I
no,
had.
you went. Oh, okay. I
No.
had Shelby Barksdale.
hmm
10 against Trenton Catholic, 16 against Randy. She's been playing very well.
Yes.
It's not a bad. They don't have a bad team. They're in a division where they win most games except when they play Randy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I went with Isabella Benars from Keyport. She had 21 against South Amboy and 16 and 11 against a school I don't know where they're from, but another multi-sport athlete. Um,
Yep.
but she had a pretty good week, so I just wanted to get her recognized for Player of the Week for B Central.
B South, we both went with Gabby Ross. 17 against Lacey, 17 against Barnegat, but
It's a big
against
one.
National Power Lehigh, 36 points. She exploded for 36.
Yep.
So that's a game that people are going to look at and say, wow, like that's she, and we know she's a good player.
Mhm.
Everybody around here knows she's a good, but that on a kind of a national stage, that's kind of a coming out party for her, 36 points against Lehigh.
Mhm. Yeah, she had. Kind of wish we were there on Saturday because it's a lot of good games. So it would have been probably a fun atmosphere. Donovan definitely went in there as the underdogs,
Yeah.
and they
Yep.
brought it. They brought it to them, and good job. And Donovan's a team. I think they might be able to give RBC or Swan. If they play with their heads on, they could give them a run for their money come the semis. Oh no, unfortunately, they're probably going
It
to be
looks like they're going
4.
4 seeds, but right? So yeah, even if the somehow bump them down to 5, it's still not.
Yeah.
It's still looking at SJV. So
Yeah.
but listen, they have nothing to lose. Go out and play. And,
No.
And then C North, we both had Shane Eldridge from Wall, 16 and 5 steals against Monmouth, 16 against Brick Memorial, 16 4 assists, 3 steals against Jackson Liberty, and 14 against Freeldboro.
Big game tomorrow for them. St. Rose.
Yes, St. Rose.
I think Rosie's still out. But big game for Wall. Big game for St. Rose too. I mean, you want to rebound off that Manasquan game yesterday.
Yeah, you don't want to go into the seeding meeting having lost 2.
Yeah. So the Manasquan one, they'll get a pass on in the seeding meeting.
Yeah,
but
I think so. And twice. I mean, they played them really well the first
Yeah.
time. They were down a couple players this time, so
Yes.
I think that one gets thrown out. But if Wall can knock them off, that's a different story.
Yeah. So this week, me and Doug picked Broad Street Player of the Week, Danny Schlesinger from Marlboro.
Congratulations.
Second time this season that we both picked her as the Division Player of the Week. One of the key factors of the Marlboro turnaround. So good to recognize her, and hopefully she could continue having the good season that she's having, and take Marlboro deep into the postseason. They're in group 3 or group 4.
4. They've always been 4, I think. If
Okay.
that's still the case, they've always been 4.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, they can make. I don't know who's in the group. I'd have to look. Jackson Memorial. They moved from
Monroe,
Yeah.
I believe, is Central 4. So yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
right now, Jackson's 2, Monroe is 3. Hightstown was 1.
Hightstown 1? Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, Shore Regional beat Hightstown.
Yeah, the I don't know how power, but that division, it's kind of like the Middlesex County. The teams are 22-0, 22-1, and then
Mhm.
they run into a short team, a middle of the road short team, and lose by 10, 12 points. So
Yeah,
you just never know.
yeah. That's the PowerPoint thing needs to be fixed. So I think when I saw Marlboro was fifth in the PowerPoints, but that that
Okay.
might I don't like I said I don't know how that works. So, but yeah. So congratulations, Danny, on winning
Yeah.
this week's
Congratulations.
Broad Street Dough Company Player of the Week, which is I'm hearing is a big hit. So
Hey,
glad,
why not?
glad. Thank you, thank you, Des, and please. I know a lot of people telling me they've been going there too. Since we started this, I
Yeah.
know
All I know is what's this, the sixth or seventh we've given out?
eighth. This would be
Eighth?
so we've given out seven so far.
I
This is
still
week
haven't
eight.
gotten a
Yeah.
donut. But yeah.
I'll have to go get you. Des has been busy. I know Ariana's been busy over at Bates playing a lot of basketball. So, but we'll have to get over there. I know, Mark Eagle. He said I think for senior day he was going to pick up some donuts for the team,
Nice.
and
Nice.
I know they did something at St. Rose for senior night. So
I'm
good.
sure they're making a nice spread for Super Bowl, so get your
Yes,
orders in.
yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to do top 10 and then we'll go through a little short conference seeding predictions. So, all right, I'll let you go first. We're not different until number 7.
Okay. Uh, so St. John Vianney, RBC, Manasquan, Donovan, Rumson, Fairhaven, Homedale. I have Jackson Memorial at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Toms River North at 8, which you could interchange them. North beat Jackson head to
Yeah.
head. I could have them there, but I've seen I've seen North have a couple bad games. So again, I know this has been talk on Twitter a lot. Tiny's been talking about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson and North not being able to come together and play before Monday. And I've spoken to both people from both sides, and it seems like it's no fault of anybody's.
Yeah.
Gym time is an issue. But I definitely want to see that rematch again. Is it really going to matter on the 21st?
No.
No, but it probably will determine a South. So
Yeah.
there definitely is still something to play for. I have Randy 9, and I put Manchester in at 10. First time they hit the rankings this year. They've been playing pretty well. A lot of wins. Nice win over Lacey last night. But my bottom changes a lot. So
Yeah. Um, my different, I have same top 6, which should be the top 6 seeds in the short conference tournament. I have Rainey at 7. I'm putting a lot of value, I guess, in that Rumson win. But honestly, 7, 8, and 9
yeah,
could be interchanged. I got TRN at 8. I'm just going with the head-to-head over Jackson Memorial. And I moved Marlboro back into the top 10 just because they're on a big streak. They beat Trinity Hall. They're playing good basketball. So, and top tens will get updated every week because it gets who's hot that week. Moving up. So, totally different team. Definitely would like to get my eyes on them live again to see what the big difference is from
yeah.
earlier in this season. So, yeah, that's so a lot of similar teams, just our 10th team different. So, which I mean, we've been pretty close with that almost all season. Our teams
I
being.
think so. Yeah, I put Lacey in last week, and then
I
they
had St.
proceeded to
Rose
lose
still in there. Yeah.
two or three this week. So
Yeah.
it's just. I mean, after the top 6,
Yeah.
I mean, you get the short conference tournament. Do you really want to be the 7 or 8 seed anyway?
No,
It's not.
no,
Not.
no.
It's
Seven,
it's a
eight.
it's a good accomplishment. It means you had a great season, but your road
The
kind of stops there. So
the politicking on Sunday is going to be teams trying to get out of the 7, 8, 9 seed. I mean, certain
yeah,
coaches won't care. They'll just
right.
but I could see that. So let's talk a little bit before we
about the
wrap up. We
seating.
want to talk. I was 1 through 6.
Mhm.
Pretty obvious. If it's not that, there's some shady stuff going on backstage.
Right.
But after that, just because, my top 10 or, your top 10, might not be the way we think it's going to actually be seeded. Because, I think St. Rose will probably end up getting, between 7 through 9 seed, which they probably shouldn't right now until they get 100% healthy. But what's your thoughts coming, after the first six?
Well, I think we talked about throwing out the Manasquan games, the
Yeah.
second game, and Rosie's been out for a while. They've been down a couple starters.
Mhm.
Because of their past performance, and I think they will probably get the benefit of the doubt and will probably end up with the 7 seed. That's just my guess. It doesn't mean I think they deserve it or anything, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Mhm.
Um, I think Tom's River North will be around 8. People disagree with me, but you know what?
I think that's where they should be.
Anywhere between 8 and 13 is pretty much equal anyway. So
Yeah. I think they should
they
be 8.
beat Jackson, so they should be ahead of Jackson.
Mm.
Um, and I have Jackson at 9, and I have Randy at 10. So
Mm.
that's the way I think it's gonna happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what I think teams deserve, but
Yeah.
we're just taking guesses. So
Yeah. I agree. I think that's how it'll be. I could see maybe Rainey bumped up a little bit. Depends how much weight they're going to carry that Rumson win. But I mean, they play Rumson now. I think it's a 20 point. I think
yeah,
it's a similar result to the Homedale game as yesterday.
and the one
That was
caveat
an
to
eye
that is
opener. That game yesterday.
yeah, the one caveat to this is we talked about if St. Rose loses to Wall tomorrow,
Yeah.
that could knock them down.
Yeah.
But if they win, I think they throw that second Manasquan game out and throw and take into consideration the injuries.
Yes.
So
They should. They should. Now here's the thing. I haven't gotten tagged in any updates. I'm curious. Of course, my Twitter's broken now. What is going on in the RBR Neptune game that's going on right now?
what time did that start? 5:30?
I think 4:30. Hang
Oh
on.
wow, it's
Let
early.
me see if Tiny has any updates. Oh, they won already.
RBR one?
H3 points. RBR did not just win. RBR destroyed them.
Okay.
40-13. It's a wrap. Starters coming out 40-19.
Wow. Wow.
So just
So big one tomorrow. Big one tomorrow against
now,
Monroe.
now,
Yeah.
now, what's Monroe thinking? Because now this is going to affect PowerPoints, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
And RBR going in on a little bit of a roll. So
mhm.
they're going to be pumped up and ready to play. They don't want to miss a short conference tournament.
So here, teams that had so-so seasons, you don't want to see. I mean, Rumson didn't really have so-so season. They played a brutal
Beginning
schedule,
of the season.
but
Right.
you don't want to. That's a team you don't. That's probably the first team you don't want to see.
Right.
If you're the 2 or 3 seed, RBR, especially JT will have his team ready. Marlboro. Those are
Yep.
probably the 3 teams that at all one point were top 10.
Right.
Preseason they were all top 10 for us and in the APP.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a fun tournament as long as you don't have to play SJB.
I mean, that's isn't it like that? So,
So just curious, I mean, we're gonna do a preview show just so everyone knows on Monday. We're gonna have Brian. Brian, I don't want to butcher your last name from NJ.com. Dakani, is that how you pronounce it?
your guess is as good as mine.
But Brian from NJ.com is going to join us Monday to talk short conference preview. So I want excited about getting him on.
Do some predictions and
We'll make some predictions, and we'll have a couple questions about how hard it is to actually cover the full state.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he might have a couple questions for me to get me fired up and to say something to get me in trouble. But yeah, so we are going to be doing a special podcast on Monday to talk once the seeding came out. And why did it get really dark on my side? Sorry about that. So, but overall, we're getting down to crunch time here. I can't believe
Yeah,
only a few more weeks left.
I know it's season's gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah, I know. It seems like we were just sitting at the WOBM and
But yeah, trying to figure out what to talk about on the first podcast. And
yeah,
now
yeah.
we're
Now we have plenty
eight
of
deep.
material.
So yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll be doing that on Monday, and we'll figure out who. We have a couple options for our guest on Friday. But I want to thank Aria for joining us today from
Yeah.
Jackson Liberty. She was somebody we were trying to get on. You know, since the beginning of the season that I, told her I wanted to interview her, and such a great kid,
Mhm.
you know. But, majority of these kids are great kids these
Yeah,
days. Not
no
not
doubt.
not like when we were in school.
I wouldn't want to interview people back then.
No, no, no. So, all right. Good luck to all the teams that need a victory
Yeah, yeah.
tomorrow.
Hopefully we all get them. Shore conference gets the
Yeah, I think I
amount of
read.
teams.
So Ocean needed to win today. Oh, not Ocean.
Okay.
Shore Regional. Shore Regional. Sorry.
And
Again,
Shore is playing Rumson.
Sayreville.
Oh, today, Sabre, right,
Yeah,
Sabreville, right.
they
Yes.
and I know we didn't comment on the Rumson Shore game, but I'm going to watch that tonight. To to see what went on. Very competitive game.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Will's a pretty good coach over there. So
Yep. Good luck. Yeah, good luck to them. Good luck
yeah,
to RBR. Good luck to all the other teams. Hopefully Monmouth can pick up a game. Get as many teams as we can into the short conference tournament. Makes it fun. Um,
yeah. I thought I saw that the boys there might be 30 teams if the two teams on the bubble win tonight or tomorrow.
wow. And I
I
think
think
what are we at? 24 for the girls right now?
yeah,
23?
yeah,
And we could possibly get up to 25, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I think those middle, the bottom teams, if as long as they're playing, basically playing games, because SJ, the first five are probably going to have buys, maybe the first six.
Right. Yeah. Depending on the
Um,
numbers.
might
Right.
have some competitive games that first day
I
until you
think
have
so.
to get to the top six,
I definitely think so.
so which is, as a fan, that's what we want to see. We don't
Yeah,
have to see
absolutely.
blowouts
No.
unless you're playing a team outside the shore. Then I'm all for
Or
blowouts.
unless you're playing Pola 6, right?
No comment. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining us. Sorry, my screen went dark. It got dark outside pretty quick out there. We'll see everybody on Monday.
Yep. Good luck.
All right.